It's been almost 9 months since I first took delivery of my Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, and in that time I have done a lot. I have put thousands of miles on the car, I've spent a lot of time inside and out, kind of learning the quirks and the features, and now I want to answer a lot of the biggest questions. Is the car worth it? What's the range like? What are you really missing from the premium interior? Should I get the long range? Whether you're contemplating getting the Standard Range Plus, you have questions that have not been answered, or you just want to know what it's like to own the quote-unquote cheapest Tesla you can buy, this is everything you need to know about the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. So I went ahead and compiled a list here of about the 20 or so most frequently asked questions about the Standard Range Plus from YouTube comments here on these videos, from Instagram, Twitter, from Reddit posts, and of course in person. So let's just kind of jump into it and let me take a look here and answer your questions. So how can you order the Standard Range Plus? Is it off menu? It's not off menu. If you wanted to order the true cheapest Model 3, the $35,000 base Standard Range Model 3, you'll have to call Tesla or go into one of their stores to do that. You cannot do it in the online configurator. That's reserved for the Standard Range Plus. So if you want to order the Standard Range Plus, it's easy. You can head to Tesla.com, you can configure it just like you would any other Tesla. Does it have autopilot? Yes. Yes, it does, and autopilot is fantastic and very important, and I think one of the biggest reasons why many people want to look into buying a Tesla for themselves, or if you're a Tesla owner, why you probably got your car in the first place. Autopilot is fantastic. It's something I use on my commute every day of the week and on weekends as well, getting around town. Autopilot is included in the Standard Range Plus, no need to pay extra. You can pay extra for autopilot if you're at the very true base Standard Range Model 3, that off menu one I just talked about. You can pay to add autopilot to that, but at that point you might as well just jump to the SR Plus for multiple reasons. One of them is because autopilot is just included and built into the price and ready to go. So the Standard Range Plus has a partial premium interior. Does that mean it's a cloth material? Do you still get the sunroof and everything? The Standard Range Plus has what Tesla is calling the partial premium interior, which essentially means the audio system and the lighting is not as good as the higher end models, but we'll get to that in a minute. You're still getting a full leather steering wheel, you're getting leather seats, you're getting the sunroof as well. Everything is there. There really is no cosmetic difference between the Standard Range Plus and the long range or even the Performance Model 3. They all look pretty much the same. So no need to worry, you're not getting a downgraded interior experience. It looks exactly the same. You're just missing a couple of little things. Speaking of things missing, what about speakers? Are they there? Do they work? What's the big difference? So I am planning a more in-depth kind of showdown between the Standard Range Plus audio system and the long range Model 3 audio system. If you're looking forward to that and you want to see that video, be sure to click subscribe and also hit that bell so you're notified about upcoming videos, because that one is in the works coming soon and that should be a lot of fun. But essentially it boils down to this. In the Standard Range Plus, you're not getting audio from the A-pillar speakers, you're not getting any audio from speakers in the back, because the car is physically missing components. It's missing a subwoofer and it's missing an amplifier. Your main source of audio is coming from the front of the car, and because there is no subwoofer, you can turn the bass all the way up in settings, but the front speakers in the door are really going to be that source of bass. So you get a little bit of bass, but it's certainly not the bass that you get with an actual subwoofer. There are a lot of videos about this online. It's a little bit confusing on what speakers are there or what aren't. If they're physically there, they're just not connected. But I can tell you for sure there is no amp and there is no subwoofer. And you could retrofit the car and add that and kind of get an upgraded audio experience yourself. But it seems like a lot of work, though people have done it. I'll link to a couple of videos down below that kind of showcase what that process is like. I looked into retrofitting my Standard Range Plus and it looks like it'd be about $2,000 to get all those speakers working. So to answer your question, there are speakers there, but they're not physically connected because the car is physically missing the subwoofer and the amplifier. Though the audio is still very good. Don't let that kind of throw you off from the Standard Range Plus. I still think the audio is pretty good. So I guess this kind of rolls into the next question. How does it all sound? Well, obviously, missing the subwoofer and the amplifier are going to give you a big disadvantage in the Standard Range Plus. It's not going to sound as good. And in the video I have coming up, you'll clearly should be able to kind of see, and I guess hear, there is a big difference. But With that being said, I still don't think the audio system sounds bad. It sounds, very great to me. Obviously, you're not getting the bunch and the bass from the subwoofer, but the speakers that are in the car do sound pretty good. I'm not an audiophile, but I listen to songs, on Spotify, on TuneIn, on the various streaming services, and it all sounds pretty good to me. Don't let that, turn you off from buying the car. Obviously, if you want the best possible audio system, you want to opt for the long range or above to get the premium interior, but the audio system doesn't sound all that bad. And again, I'll have a full video coming soon kind of comparing the two and really going more in depth to what those differences really are. Does it have access to Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube, and all the cool, fun Tesla stuff? Yes, actually, yes it does. Over the past couple of months, Tesla has put out a bunch of software updates that kind of make the cars kind of in parity in terms of software. So you have all the same software stuff that the long range and performance Model 3 variants do as well. So you have satellite maps, you have Spotify, you have YouTube and Twitch streaming and Netflix and all that stuff. You do have it on the Model 3 Standard Range Plus. This was not always the case, but thanks to recent software updates, it's here and you're getting the exact same software experience on the Standard Range Plus as any other Model 3 or even Model X and S and Y for that matter. Can I use all these features over LTE? Well, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Yes, you can, but you're going to have to pay for it. So I kind of have a video detailing how this works up here. I will link to it, but the short of it is you have to subscribe to what Tesla calls its premium connectivity package. It's $10 a month, and it essentially unlocks your car's LTE service so you can use Spotify and satellite maps and Netflix and all that stuff over the LTE connection built into the car. You can still use this stuff over Wi-Fi, but then it gets a little bit more tricky. So the short answer is yes, you can use it over LTE, but you got to pony up $10 a month to be able to do that. Does it have Sentry Mode? Yes, it does have Sentry Mode, and it works exactly the same in the Standard Range Plus as it does in all other Tesla models. You're getting all the same cameras and you have all the same features in Sentry Mode as you would in the other Teslas. And if you're curious on how to set up Sentry Mode in your Tesla Model 3, no matter if you have the Standard Range Plus, Performance, whatever Tesla you got, I've got a great video covering that. I will link to you above. Check it out, it's very easy, and you definitely want to set up Sentry Mode on your Model 3. Does the Standard Range Plus come with floor mats? No, it does not come with floor mats. Not only do you not get any kind of interior floor mats inside, but you do not get any kind of protection in the trunk, or more importantly, in the front. It's just kind of the bare plastic shell. There is no kind of floor mat or covering in there. So you're gonna be on your own to buy your own floor mats, which isn't a big deal, but it is kind of disappointing, especially for a car that costs as much as the Standard Range Plus does. I have a couple of options linked down below. I like the tap test models, but there are a bunch of different ones you can find on Amazon. I've tried a couple and I will link them all down below. You gotta get your own floor mats, but there are some good options available at pretty good price points. Does the Standard Range Plus come with fog lights? This is a little bit of a more complicated question. It's actually kind of interesting. So my Standard Range Plus I took delivery of in May of 2019 does have fog lights, and I can control them in software. But from what I've read online, if you took delivery of the Standard Range Plus after July 2019, it does not come with fog lights or the ability to control them. People are a little split whether they have physical fog lights or not, but essentially if you're getting a Standard Range Plus after July 2019, it does not come with controllable fog lights. Sorry, you're kind of out of luck on that. What's the current range for the Standard Range Plus? What Tesla's advertising is 250 miles on Tesla.com. That's what they are advertising for the Standard Range Plus. Is 250 enough? Is range a concern? Range anxiety, all those buzzwords. I will have a future video on this kind of explaining what my experience has been like, but to kind of summarize, no. It's really gonna depend on your driving habits. You kind of have to know that going into it, especially where you're gonna charge the car. But to give you my experience very quickly here, as someone who did do a lot of commuting and still does a lot of commuting and does not have a home charger, I have been able to get by just fine with 240 miles of range in my Standard Range Plus. So you kind of have to plan around it. You kind of have to know what your situation is going into it. But if you're doing a moderate amount of driving and you can charge frequently and easily, I'd say it is not an issue at all. Can the Standard Range Plus get updates on time with all the other models? So is there any kind of delay with the Standard Range Plus getting updates as opposed to a long range or Model 3 Performance? Great answer. Actually, great question, but there's also a great answer. No, there is no delay. There seems to be kind of a hierarchy in Tesla pushing out software. If you have full self-driving, you're more in favor of getting software earlier than someone who does not. But there is no difference really in terms of model. A Standard Range Plus isn't going to be the bottom of the barrel in terms of getting a software update as opposed to someone else. So we don't exactly know all the quirks and exactly how this works on the Tesla end, but it doesn't look like you're getting any kind of delay because you have a cheaper Tesla. Can you purchase full self-driving on the Standard Range Plus? Yes, you can. The Standard Range Plus is not in any way hardware locked or incapable of using the autopilot features, including full self-driving. So you can pay the $7,000 and unlock full self-driving on the Standard Range Plus, no problem. Does the Standard Range Plus have Hardware 3? Yes, it does. It's going to depend on when the car was made, but I know in my Model 3 Standard Range Plus, it does have Hardware 3. So again, there is no limitation. Just because it's a cheaper Tesla does not mean it's hardware limited in most cases besides the speakers. So yes, Hardware 3 is available on the Standard Range Plus. Does the car come with wireless charging? It does not. You'll have to pick up a third-party accessory for this. It looks like there's some leaks and rumors that maybe the new refreshed interior on the Model S and X could have wireless charging finally built in. But for now, on all Model 3s, you're gonna have to do that third party. Again, I'll put some links down below to a bunch of very nice wireless chargers, but definitely something you're gonna wanna add to your Model 3 because it does not come standard. Can the Standard Range Plus charge as fast as other Model 3s while supercharging? Another good question, no, it's capped at 170 kilowatts. So I don't know what the range or the advertised speed for the higher end Model 3s are, but I know that for the Standard Range Plus, it is 170 kilowatts, though your mileage is gonna vary on that because I've never really gotten more than 100 kilowatts, even at a V3 supercharger, so your mileage will vary quite literally depending on where you are. I know in Southern California it's a little bit different, but that's been the best I've been able to see. So I haven't even gotten near the theoretical, max threshold in terms of charging speed. Does the Standard Range Plus come with rear heated seats? It does not come with rear heated seats, but there have been rumors that this feature could make its way to the Standard Range Plus and some kind of software unlock. It's a little unclear whether this is here with hardware and just software locked, though there were some reports that people who had Standard Range models and Standard Range Plus in the initial delivery window actually had this feature turned on in software. So it looks like it's just software locked, and it looks like, according to Mr. Elon Musk himself, this may come as an unlock in a future software update to Standard Range Plus owners. Interior lights, what's the difference? Well, as far as I know, you are missing some interior lights in the Standard Range Plus as well as compared to the full premium interior in the higher end models. I believe you're missing some kind of that illuminate the floor. There are some lights on the steering wheel of the Model 3 and of course when you open and close the door, but really in terms of ambient interior lighting, there is not a whole lot on the Standard Range Plus. In fact, it gets quite dark in there while driving at night. Here's some B-roll to kind of illustrate that point. There's only a little bit of light coming in the interior there from the steering wheel, so not a lot of light in the Standard Range Plus. Apparently that is also software locked, so you're just also missing some additional lighting in the interior. And finally, is the Standard Range Plus any good? Should you even consider buying it? So I'll have a full video on this coming soon as well, kind of almost a year review with the car, but I will tell you that I believe the Standard Range Plus is the best Tesla you can currently buy, just because you're getting the most value for your dollar. You're getting all the Tesla perks. You're in that Tesla ecosystem. You get supercharging, you get software updates, you have the ability to use autopilot, Tesla Theater, all the LTE stuff. You have all the abilities of the Tesla ecosystem, is giving you, but in the cheapest price point you can currently buy, unless you're getting the Standard Range, which I don't think you should. Short answer, yes, I really like the Standard Range Plus, and I'll have a whole video coming soon explaining why, but definitely do not discount the car. It is an amazing car and definitely worth your consideration if you can live with the 250-mile range. And that is it. That is kind of wrapping up all the questions I have gotten on the Standard Range Plus. I've gotten so many, but those are really the big ones, the ones I got again and again and again. And I just kind of wanted to clear up some confusion about the car, kind of set the record straight, and from one owner to another, or a potential owner or someone who just watched this video because they're interested in Tesla, I hope this helps. Thank you guys, as always, so much for watching this video. I'll have a lot more Standard Range Plus coverage coming soon. I am Robert Rosenfeld. Thank you again so much. I'll see you in the next one.